All right. Welcome back to Eyes Open Media. Okay, so today's teaching is going to be about the Caucasian people and how they are starting to realize after all these years that they have the same enemy as the colored and black people. Now, some of you guys are going to say, wait a minute, I thought Caucasians are the ones that are you know, going into countries and stealing resources and things of that nature out of colored countries and keeping colored countries poor, like South America and Africa and the middle, and creating the chaos going on in the Middle East and so forth and so on. And then also when you go into America, if you look in America, you got black people, majority of black people, which only make up about 13% of the population. Majority black people live in impoverished neighborhoods surrounded with by fast foods, liquor stores, churches, and strip clubs. So you know what I mean. So there is a design system that's been created by Caucasians to keep colored people in a state of poverty and chaos and confusion. Well, that is true to a certain degree, but it's not what you think. It's not the people. It's not the Caucasians that go to work and come home and living a normal life. They don't have no power to do stuff like that. It's the elites. It's the white male elites. Let's put it that way. I mean, there is female elites like Hillary Clinton, as we all know. You know, and the damage she has done to colored countries, especially Haiti. I mean, my goodness gracious, they took all that money in Haiti and they basically built like four tents, and they were supposed to build like millions of tents for these people and bring millions of food, and they didn't do any. They just took the money and they just took the money from everybody. And this is not just money that was sent from colored people, and it was money sent from white people. White people sent money, right? White people, Caucasians donate a lot of money, and they're starting to realize that the people that are putting the elites that are putting the black people and the colored people into bondage, oppression, poverty, violence, and chaos hate them too. And I remember talking about this back when I was working in the government. I remember talking about this to my coworkers. Man, you know what? My coworkers that used to work with me in the government as government contractors and stuff, they learned so much from me. Like I would tell them like this is gonna happen in the future. This is coming in the future, and they would just look at me like, huh? And one thing I did tell them was that Caucasians are, and some of them were Caucasians, and I was talking to them because I have no problem talking to Caucasians about what they've done in their past and what they can might do in the future and things like that. I have no problem with it because because for me, I come with love. I don't come with hatred. I don't come with racism. I don't come with any of that stuff, any of that nonsense. I come with love, and I try to tell people the truth about what's going on. Okay, so and how to better themselves, right? Because that's what we're about. We're about bettering ourselves. But the number one way to better yourself is to know who your enemy is, right? So I remember talking to them about my coworkers back in the day about how Caucasians are because of social media and because of the information that we can now get our hands on. Caucasians are going to now realize that the elites also hate them. Okay, and when that happens, and I think we still have another 8, maybe 6, 8, 7, maybe another 10 years before all the Caucasians realize that the elites are against them too. And what the elites are doing in the background is they realize this. If you think the elites don't realize that the Caucasian people are waking up, that they that wait a minute, the elites are spraying chemtrails on us too. The elites are putting poison in our foods as well. What's going on? If you don't think the elites are realize that, they already have a plan for you white people. Okay. And this is what I was telling people back in the day. And if you guys have noticed, the last 3 years on social media, white Caucasians are speaking out a lot more about the elites, about what's going on, what's in the air, what's in your food, and things of that nature. And they're realizing that they're being poisoned as well. Their waters are being tapped with lead and being destroyed as well and unclean. They're going through everything that the black and colored people have gone through for years. You know, so they're realizing this. Not all of them, because of course there's still a lot of racist people out in the world, unfortunately. Um, and there's a lot of people that have been, brought up the way that if your skin is light, you're superior, which is absolutely backwards if you really actually know your history. The darker your skin is the more power you have, because you can stand in this basically you can stand in the sun and you wouldn't be damaged at all. The lighter your skin is, the more you can't stand in the sun and the more you're damaged. So who actually has the power? If I can stand in front of the sun and not be damaged, but somebody else can stand in front of the sun and have skin and get burnt to death and have skin cancer, right? Who's more powerful? Okay, so you got to understand that these people have been brainwashing just the whole world about skin bleaching and all types of stuff. I mean, everybody has gone through this, but now a lot of people are waking up to realize, wait a minute, Africans and black people were kings and queens for thousands of years before even a Caucasian person was even on the earth. Black people have been on this planet for thousands of years as kings and queens. If you even go to Europe, black people, you go to the Europe museums, you'll see freaking pictures or architect of ancient kings and queens in Europe, which were all black. You go to Russia, kings and queens and empires of black people with money. The biblical days, black people in the Middle East and Egypt with money, and Africa with money. Okay, King Solomon and Moses and all these people. Okay, so white people and Caucasians are realizing this, and when they dig up the ground, when the scientists dig up the grounds and they see ancient architects and mummies and things of that nature and dead bodies, they're all colored people. None of them are Caucasian, and they say this is about 1 million years ago, and it's a colored person or a black person or an Egyptian. Okay, so and so when you guys see that stuff on television or you read about it, you're seeing that, wait a minute, something's not right. We've been told the wrong story. We're being told the wrong story for a purpose, because the elites are Caucasian, right? So the elites want to make the world seem like they are superior, but yet they can't stand in front of the sun for 7 hours. Okay, so you got to put on, they have to put on sunscreen just to do the movies in Egypt, but pretending that they are the Egyptian goddesses and gods, but they have to put on sunscreen. But back then they didn't have things to cover you except for light clothing. So basically, people that weren't dark and melanated would burn to basically just burn to death and have skin cancer out the just it would be a nightmare. You know what I mean? I mean, you go to Vegas every year. You see it on Facebook. All my Caucasian friends that go to Vegas, they be like, "Man, I'm so burnt. I'm so burnt. It's 4 hours outside of Vegas." Can you imagine 140 degree, 150-degree weather in midsummer in Egypt and Iraq? Back in those days when you didn't have that much covering. That's common sense, but because they have brainwashed us so much, People just don't even think about that. But now, because of the information that's coming out, and now that a lot of Caucasian Jews out in the Middle East are speaking out and telling people that, look, we're not the real Jews. We're not the real Jews. The people that it says it right in the Bible in Deuteronomy. The people who have been put in put into slaves and put into the ships and been cast around the world. Those are the real Jews. I mean, it's clear as day in Deuteronomy. But when you're brainwashed by European Christianity and all this other nonsense that's been going on, you don't care to read the Bible and you don't care to read the truth about the Bible. It clearly states in Deuteronomy that the chosen people of the Jews are the people that put in slave ships and are cast around the world. White people don't live around all in every country around the world. Black people do though. There's black person in every country in this world. Everywhere you go, every country in this world you're gonna see a black person or a colored person because we were scattered as a 12 tribe of Israel. We were scattered around the whole world and enslaved for disobeying God in the Old Testament. Remember? So so now we're in 2017, and white people are realizing this. You go on your social media, you'll see more and more white people talking about, you know, something's not right, like we're struggling, we're paying bills to bills. This wasn't like this. These elitists are against us too. And not all white people are like this. But a lot of them are starting to realize this, and I know a lot of them on my personal page. They post a lot about the elites and what the elites are doing. How elites are trying to poison people through vaccines and all types of crazy stuff. Caucasians. I've never seen Caucasian post this stuff before. I've had a couple of guys that were like this 3 years ago, but man, my whole timeline is filled with Caucasians posting about chemtrails and vaccines and all types of stuff that the elites are doing, and that's awesome to see because they're realizing that the elites are also against them. Okay, that the elites don't like nobody. It's like a corrupt government. A corrupt government only likes the people that are corrupt. If you're not corrupt and you're not a billionaire, you're not part of their team, they hate your guts. And that's exactly what's going on now. Okay? The elites do not like normal white people. They actually think normal white people are embarrassing. Like if you go to if you go to a Rockefeller family event, and you're a normal white person, they'll be able to see you from a mile away, and they're just gonna be disgusted, like ugh. Like what's your net worth? And you're like, well, I work at the JC Penney's, and I'm making like $12 an hour, and I have a great job, I have a great crew, and I'm making about 28,000 a year, and they're gonna kick you out. They're gonna spit on you and they're gonna kick you out because they can't stand white poverty. They can't stand it, okay? But yet they can't stand white poverty, but yet they're fighting against white people, just like they're fighting against black people. They accept, and here's the thing: they look at black people and they say, "What a shame! He can't even do nothing for himself. What a shame! They always fight and bicker and get drunk and high. What a shame! What a waste of life." Yet they own everything that's making them drink and smoke and do all and destroy their lives, right? They own the whole block. They own every shop in there that's destroying a black person's life and a colored person's life and a white person's life. Yet they come out and say because you don't have billions and billions and trillions of dollars like their family does, what a shame you are. What an embarrassment you are. But yet they own everything that's killing you. Everything, all the fast foods, all of the liquor stores, the drugs, the pharmaceuticals, everything that is destroying our bodies, everything that's destroying us, our mental. They own the media. They're putting out reality TV shows and all this demonic stuff, all this demonic music, and then they tell you what a shame you are. you know, and it's crazy, man. It's crazy because this is how they operate. And they don't care. That the thing that makes people crazy, the thing that makes it all crazy is that these people do not care. They have no care at all, you know. And it's interesting because even Bill Gates came out and was talking about how he would love the earth to come down to 500 million people. Like, why in the world would somebody say something like that? You know what I'm saying? Like there's 7, 8 billion people in the world, and you want you want the Earth to be at 500 million. That means a lot of people have to die, Bill. And so he's sitting there like, yeah, we want the world, and he says we because of course he's part of the elite secret societies and agenda and Agenda 21 that the Pope is pushing heavily to basically bring in the refugees, destroy the Western world's way of thinking and life. Well, guess what? That's destroying white people's lives as well. So this is waking up the Caucasians to say, wait a minute, Agenda 21 also hurts us because look what's going on in Sweden. Look what's going on in Italy. Look what's going on in France. Look what's going on in white rich areas that are being filled with refugees that are pretending to be refugees, but they're actually terrorist groups, and now they're coming after the Caucasians. And so now they're trying to push this Agenda 21, togetherness, everybody unite. But here's the problem. You can't unite with devils. You can't unite with Satanists. You can't unite with negativity if you're a positive person. So all this togetherness, all this, we need to be together, unity stuff that they're pushing, and then Hollywood people and musicians are pushing as well. It's bullcrap because we are not supposed to yoke with unequal. We're not supposed to be unequally yoked. Okay, and Yeshua made that clear. Jesus Christ makes it clear, right? The Father and the Holy Spirit make it clear. We're not supposed to be. We're supposed to love them people and pray for them and help them in any way we can, but we're not supposed to be equally yoked with people that are Satanists and demons and negative and have bad intentions for our lives and their lives. So that's how we know that it's not of God to be equal, to bring everybody together and unite, because there's a lot of wicked people out there. And so when I talk about black people uniting on, like if I make a post on Facebook and I talk about black people, we must come together to do this and that. I'm talking about the people that actually that can do that. I'm not talking about all black people because I know all black people are not good. I'm talking about people with like-minded thinking that can get the job done. That's how I say do it that's my thinking when I talk about uniting, okay, and getting things done. So once again, to close this out, Caucasian people are realizing, and I see it myself right on my Facebook page and right on YouTube, because a lot of them are now speaking out against the elites. And this wasn't the case 3, 4 years ago. So now it is. It's especially the women. The women. That's why I put 2 women on here and 1 man, because the women are starting to speak a lot more now, and which is awesome to see. And like I said before, man, I'm coming at a place with love. So don't take it anyway, because that's I go hard on black people. I go hard on white people. I go hard on anybody because at the end of the day, we need to make sure that we understand that the real terrorist and the real devil is the people that you never get to see, that are in the secret societies controlling the strings of lots of your politicians that you vote for, while always coming out, when they do come out here and there, they always say peace, 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 peace. But as you guys already know, Yeshua already made it clear, those who say peace, then sudden destruction shall come. So they always say peace, and then here's the terrorist attack. What was going on last week? We had the Arab Summit, right, on the 28th and 29th. The Arab Summit was talking about peace. Peace. And what happened that same day as the Arab Summit, as the body did his thing in the Arab Summit? Baghdad explosions. Baghdad was on fire. Today, terrorist attack in Russia, right? So when they say peace, when the world leaders say peace, then sudden destruction comes because it's a code word. Yeshua was telling us that when they say peace, when they speak peace, it's a coded word for secret societies to bring destruction. And that's what we always see. Every time they talk about peace, we see terrorist attacks. So it's a coded. This is why God this is why God instructed Yeshua. So I know some of you guys is like, why you keep saying Yeshua? Because that's one of his original names, right? I can say Christ or Jesus Christ, but his original name is Yeshua, right? So I like to do original things. I don't like to do copycats or change things. We know that King James changed his name to Jesus, to I guess to make it more European or whatever the case it could be. But I like the real name holds more power. Okay, Yeshua, Yahushua, or whatever you want to call it. You know what I mean? There's several different names for him, for Jesus Christ. But I say Yeshua because it's a lot easier and it's one of the original names, right? But he talked in parables for a reason. Which we call codes now. This is why I love decoding, because I know that when Christ came down, he always talked in parables and codes. And one of the codes was peace, right? Peace was going to be used as a coded word for destruction. So, yep. So I'm excited that Caucasians are seeing that their enemies, the same enemies as black. I hope this transfers into something great where normal hardworking Caucasians look at black people a different way now and realize that it's not black people that are poor and struggling. It's the system that creating the black people to be poor and struggle. It's not black people, because if you do your history, black people were wealthy for thousands and millions of years until the white elites got together and created a plan with the fallen angels using technology to conquer, steal, and destroy. Why do you think Yeshua said they come to kill, steal, and destroy? That's the elites, okay? And that's what they did in Africa and Middle East, South Africa, and around the world. And they're still doing it today. But the difference today is that we have the information, and we can rise above the poverty, and we can rise above all the hate and all the things that are keeping us down. We can rise above it with the help of God and Yeshua and the Holy Spirit, and we can be successful. There's nothing that can stop any of us from being successful except for ourselves, because of the technology that we have, the access that we have, and the people that are surrounding us. Okay? And of course, the Eyes Open Media team, the Currency 365 team, and and just everybody else that's part of us. There's nothing that can stop us from being successful. So don't be like, oh man, the elites got us. No, the elites got us to a certain point, but then it's up to you to free yourself, to know, to have knowledge, and to move on, and to just become very successful at what you do. Okay, so that's it for me. I'm glad that the Caucasians are speaking out about the elites. I see it all the time on my thumbnail. On my timeline and on Twitter. I see it on YouTube, and I'm like, they're finally coming. This is something I prophesied years ago to my coworkers, that in the end times, the Caucasians will realize that their enemy is the same enemy as the colored people. And we're in that age right now, and we're going to see it even go further and further. And remember, the elites have something planned for you Caucasians, because they knew that this was going to happen. Eyes open. Bye.